Hello, my dear people. It is the 12th edition of Dandanaka series. I'm so glad that we have successfully done this month after month, and we are completing 1 year of Dandanaka series today. Thank you so much for your support, like I always say. So, March is a very special month for us because it is our we are stepping into our 7th year, and it's a big milestone. It wasn't easy. I had to manage so many things and yet keep this going. But the learning and the amount of insightfulness that storytelling has given me is absolutely amazing. So, again, a big thanks to you all. So, we are planning something very special for our seventh birthday, and it is happening on the 21st of March, that is a Saturday, on in Indian Music Experience Museum. And this year, the World Storytelling Day, every time the World Storytelling Day, that is the March 20th, runs on a theme, and this year it is Voyages. So, since we were planning to do it in Indian Music Experience Museum, we thought why not bring to you the story of the music's voyage to Earth. But there is an exciting element that we have added to this story session that we are going to do as anniversary special for you all. We are trying beatboxing and storytelling. So Talescope has collaborated with a very beautiful beatbox community in Bangalore called the Beats Club. So we are planning to do something exciting and nice, and the boys who are going to come and do the beatboxing with me are also going to train the children. They're going to give you a gist of what beatboxing is. It is about how you can make music with your body. Probably that is how people made music when musical instruments were not invented earlier. So that is the whole idea, guys. So I should say the boys are very talented, and they are going to give you very short lessons of how you can do rhythms with beatboxing, and your children will learn how to do beatboxing for a song, and I will do a little of body drumming too. So it will be a very nice event. So please come and support us and enjoy the show. We are trying to do this as a very special show. Nobody in Bangalore has tried beatboxing and storytelling as of yet. So please do come and watch and spread the word. So coming to Dandanaka series, we're very happy to do this Dandanaka series because it is our 12th edition, and we wanted to give you something special. Today being Women's Day and also a full moon day, I was thinking why not club the two, Women's Day and moon, and tell you stories about women and moon. It's very interesting to see that moon has always been a metaphor for women, and there are so many myths and legends associated with moon. I would like to share with you maybe two today, and give you some insights into what the world thinks about moon, so that you may want to go and find more about this, which is the whole point of Dandanaka series itself. So let's get started. The first tale that I wanted to tell you is from Nigeria. Now, the Nigerian tribes, they have a very special story that talks about the waxing and the waning of the moon. And it's such a lovely story. Let me get into the story without any further ado. Very long time ago, when the moon and the stars were not very far away from the earth, the tribes in Nigeria believed that the moon came visiting every day to look and see how the people in Nigeria lived. She especially loved to see the community that they had formed, the love that they shared with each other, and she felt really full and nice, and people believed that she was completely made up of meat. Yes, you heard me right, meat. And she looked nice and fat. And those days the moon was only full and round. And in such a Nigerian community lived an old woman who loved helping everybody. But she was very simple and led a life which is very satisfying to her own. She built her small hut with the palm leaves that was there, and she lived on the plants and the berries that she could get. The poor woman that she was, she could only afford that. But one time, there was a big drought in the Nigerian village, and the plants withered. The berries did not come. And what would this old lady do? Now, I should tell you something. Every time the old lady felt a little sad, she would get a lot of solace as she sat and watched the moon from her hut. And there the moon's beam would just calm her down, and she would talk to the moon as if she was her own. My dear moon, today I'm feeling a little low. I don't know why, she would say. And other days she would say, there was so much joy in my life today. I helped this person, I helped that person. Every day there was a story that the old woman would share with the moon. What a nice life. And the moon was always observing all that was happening around, especially the old lady who was having so much love for her. And when drought hit the village, she did not fail to notice the old lady who was suffering because she did not have food to eat. The plants and the berries were her food, but now none. She walked down and she came to earth. She looked at everybody in the village. Everybody seemed to be very happy. But then the old lady was withering away. No strength. And she was lying in her hut, not even able to get up and walk to see the moon. The moon was definitely missing her. And when she opened the door to the hut and walked inside, she saw the old lady lying on the floor with a frail smile on her face. With this frail smile on her lips, she looked and she said, Moon, you have come to see me? I should have been such a lucky soul. And I am such a lucky soul. Please welcome to my home. In spite of her weakness, she was there welcoming the moon with all her heart. The moon's heart wept for her. The moon said, look at me. I'm round and fat and full of meat. Take a little of me and eat. You will find the strength that you would want to get. But the lady was really terrified. She said, how can I hurt you? You are my darling. You are my dearest moon. How can I hurt you? But the moon said, I miss you, old lady. Every day you come and talk to me. Every day you share your story with me. I miss hearing the stories. And I want you to come and see me and talk to me every day. And for that you will need strength. I'm full of meat. Taking a slice of me is not going to do any harm. Please eat. And so she took a knife and she sliced a very small portion of the moon and ate. The meat in the moon gave her a lot of strength. And this happened every day. Every day the moon would come and a slight portion of that would go into the woman's body and she became stronger and healthier. But now, something was not okay in the sky when the moon came. The moon was getting thinner and thinner and thinner, and the people of the village were all worried. What is happening to the moon? Why is she growing thin every day? This is not right. We need to find out. She is our goddess. And so The moon, when she came the next morning, the people, without making any noise, followed her to see where she was going, and they found her getting inside the old lady's hut. And the old lady, as she took a knife to cut the slice of the moon, there came shrill voices from outside asking the old lady to come out. You old lady, so it is because of you that our goddess is growing thinner every day? How can you even do this to us? This is not right. The moon belongs to the entire community, and you have done a big sin by actually taking a part of the moon and eating. The moon tried to explain that it was out of her own will that this was happening, but the people were not ready to listen. The love that they had for the moon blinded the love that the moon and the old lady shared for each other. The moon was devastated. No amount of explaining helped, and she went back to the sky. And they say, since then, the moon never came back to the earth, fearing that because of her coming back to the earth, the old lady would suffer. But then what happened to the old lady? Nobody knew. She was also not to be seen anywhere. And they say the moon still grows thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner. Now the people believe that that the moon is probably grieving for the old lady's love, and one day she just disappears. And then when she gets to see the old lady somewhere, she starts growing bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and becomes a full moon again. And this is the story of the waxing and the waning of the moon from the Nigerian tribe. I particularly love this story so much. This story tells us how a woman's life is, right? How she had to give herself for the family, for the love of the other person in the family. Sometimes she becomes a nobody. Sometimes she draws strength from the family, and she grows to becoming a nice, bountiful moon. And it also connected to me in a very different way as to how women and women can support each other. What a beautiful thing to happen, right? And I particularly feel that the community of women can be so strong when women and women try and help each other grow in a bigger and better way. So this story is for you all women who sacrifice, who help others, who give your strengths to other women so that they become strong as well. I hope you enjoyed this story. Now I want to tell you some tidbits about moon around the world. Now, all right, there is so much I wanted to share with you all, but okay. So this is something that I found very interesting. The word lunatic, they say, came from the word luna, Latin word luna, which is related to moon cycles. Now, very strangely, the moon cycle is also very much connected to the woman's cycle, and they say that sometimes the mind gets a little disturbed during certain days of the moon. There have been studies about that. So I wanted to just tell you that because it popped up the first thing. But animals are also having a very close relation to the moon cycles, I believe. And especially the herbivorous would like to mate during, or they ovulate very well during the full moon, is what scientists have found out. And the Australian coral reef, the Australian Great Barrier Reef, the corals mate during the full moon day. Wow, that's something I didn't know myself. Not only that, they also say that the moon sometimes has a halo around it. And now that halo, people associate, folklorists have found to be associating the halo around the moon with very, bad atmospheric conditions, because people predicted, the folk legends and tales say that the halo around the moon means there's going to be a very bad weather approaching. But there is also something called the moon bow, just like the rainbow. Have you heard of it? Now, this moon bow is something that is caused by the reflection of the sunlight on the moon and the refraction of the light from the moon on the water vapor that is present in the air. And now, this moon bow can be seen very particularly in certain areas in the world, and there are a lot of conditions that have to be perfect for this moon bow to be seen really well. Now, I found another thing too. Did you know that South Africa was called as the rainbow country? I didn't know that. Now it is the African region is also called the moonbow country, where especially Zambia and that is the South Central Africa, which is filled with savanna grasslands, and in the border of Zimbabwe, where there is this river, a very specific river that falls 108 meters down, and the width of the river is 1708 meters. It's called as the Victoria Falls, and they say when the water gushes and falls down from that height, the water vapor that is sprayed up comes up to 500 meters, and it could be seen from 30 miles far off. And if people are lucky, when the moon is just started to rise, and when there is enough water vapor in the air that is caused by the water droplets that is rising up because of the water falling down, and if the sky is dark, you could see a beautiful moonbow right opposite to the place where the moon is rising. And I have never seen a moonbow. Sometimes I don't know. No, I have not seen. I think I've seen a halo around the sun, but not a moon. But this moonbow is supposed to be a very breathtaking sight. So the next time you be in Zimbabwe, you visit Zimbabwe, try to find the moonbow. And there are also a lot of legends and stories associated with the moonbow. I thought I should share this information with you all. So that is one story and some information about the moon. The second story that I wanted to tell you is a Japanese folktale. I really love Japanese folktales. I don't know, for whatever reason. And this again is a beautiful folktale about a couple who yearned for a child. Now this couple, the man was a bamboo cutter, and the wife and the man, they lived in the base of Mount Fuji, and they were yearning for a child. Every day the lady would look at the top of the mountain, the snow-clad peak, and she would tell to the divine, cry to the divine that, please give me a child. I really yearn for a child. And one day or one night, when she was looking at the Mount Fuji, where there was this moon, and she was crying her heart out, they say that she saw a shining beam of light on the peak of Mount Fuji. She called to her husband and she said, see, look, can you see a baby there? I'm so sure that there is a baby there. The gods have answered my prayers. Please, my dear husband, I want you to go to that Mount Fuji tomorrow and see that if you can find that baby child, that little child for me, please. Now the man knew that the wife was just hallucinating, but he didn't want to disappoint his wife, and so he said, yes, let me take you. I will go and let me see if I can find a child for you there. If that is what you believe, I will do it for you. And so the next day, he started walking towards the peak. He reached the peak sometime around evening, and there, to his utter surprise, he saw a big, beautiful blue and black butterfly. He was so fascinated to see that butterfly, and he said, wow. But he was so surprised because he heard somebody whisper very close to his ears, follow me. Follow me to wherever I take you. It was the butterfly. Magical, he thought, and he started following the butterfly. The butterfly took him to a place where there was a nice pond, and right on the pond was a beautiful silver gleam of light. And right there, he saw the moon child. The moon child who looked so pretty and spoke. Take me with you, Daddy. I am a gift to you and Mother from my original mother, the moon. She heard your wife's cry and she decided to gift me to her. It was the moonbeam princess. How beautiful she looked. He took her and ran to his wife. The wife was so glad to see her, and they brought up the child as their own. Every day she brought smile in their lives. She went and helped the bamboo cutter. She helped her mother in the kitchen. And she had a very special friend that came visiting every day. It was the blue and the black butterfly. Every day she would play. Years passed. She grew up to be a beautiful maiden. And one day when the butterfly came back and whispered something in her ears, she knew it was time for her to leave her parents in the earth and go to her mother, the moon. She went to the bamboo cutter and the wife and she said, "It's time for me to leave. Let me go. I will have to go back to my mother, the moon." They were very reluctant to send her away. But then they also knew that the moon had been kind enough to give them the child that they wanted. With tears in their eyes, not only the parents, the whole village which loved the moon princess so much, sent her away. As the night came and there was a ray of silvery light that came to the earth, the moon wrapped her hands around the moonbeam princess and took her away with her. All through her journey, she turned back and she was crying, looking at her parents in the earth and all the people who was bidding farewell to her. The silvery waters from her eyes, the tears, fell down and became the ponds and the small, small rivers that you see everywhere around Mount Fuji. Even today, the people of Japan believe that on a full moon night, the glittery gleam that they see on the ponds and the other water bodies around Mount Fuji is because the moonbeam princess is thinking about her parents and relations in the earth and crying for them. Such a beautiful story. I really loved reading this and I thought I should tell you this. How they connect nature to what is there in the earth, right? I mean, moon and people of the earth. The tribes lived in harmony with nature, and that is what many things tell about us. And moon has always been associated with women for many reasons. Nilavai pola mugam, we call it in Tamil. A face that is compared to the moon, the face of a woman that is compared to the moon. There are many such stories, legends about moon and moon bows and whatnot. So this is our gift to you all for the Women's Day, for all the women who bring so much happiness in the life around them. Please share the stories that you heard, because sharing is caring. Not only to others, it will be really nice if you thought that the session was very useful and you learned something new. Share the video with your friends, and we'll be really happy when others come to know of the story. And if this thing triggered certain things in your mind and you wanted to go and find more about the moon and the moon bow, let us know, because it's so nice to see people getting inspired by the short stories that we share. Have a very, very happy day, you all. Thank you so much. With this, we complete our 12th Dandanaka series. 1 year of Dandanaka series. My God. I'm feeling so glad. Next week, we'll be coming back with our Yendra Ondra Kada in Tamil, and it's going to be something exciting we want to share with you all in Tamil. So please join us for that too. And don't forget our March 21st event, a beatbox storytelling. So the links are up. You can go and buy tickets. People have already bought tickets. It feels so nice to see you all supporting and wanting to see something new. So see you all there. Thank you so much. Ta-ta.